Hi, I'm Ami Jain, and I'm in Bakoto right now. I always choose Africel's 4G network because it has the widest coverage and the fastest speeds.
Sadabo, thank you once again for granting us in this interview.
It's my pleasure.
Your initials read have seen A&M. I presume that is stand for your father's name, Numukunda. Is he your biological father?
I do not know my father. He was an elder brother. He was the younger brother of my father, and he is the one I know as my father. And that yes, he was not biological, but he's the one that I know as my father.
Okay. In the famous book entitled Enter Gambia by the American journalist Barclay Rice, uh, he painted an unsavory picture of him as a hustler politician. What do you make of that?
Well, that was Barclay Rice's views, and I don't think Barclay Rice was charitable to any Gambian politician at that time. He was not charitable to most of the people he met. I think he had some unjustifiably low opinion of them, and he was kind of, satirical, kind of, uh, you know, maybe, painting a picture of most of the people he met or he interviewed, uh, painting a picture that for me was very reminiscent, of the attitude of some of the white people towards African politicians. I mean, what he talked about, how he painted MC Cham, was quite disrespectful. So I don't know what he meant by hustler politician, but then the word hustler, I mean, is really uncharitable, and I don't think he was right. I think he was patently wrong. The the way he carried himself did not show that he was a hustler in any sense of that word.
Right. Today, whether you agree with it or not, you are regarded as a great big hope for the Mandinka. Yet proudly identify yourself as a prodigy of P.S. Njai, whom many regard as anti-Mandinka.
Do not see myself as a great hope for the Mandinkas. I see myself as a hope for the Gambians and for every Gambian. And I think time has come when we should stop pigeonholing politicians, and me in particular, as in pigeonholing me and a tribal, domain. I think people should stop seeing me as with that lens, the lens of being the advocate of Mandinkanism. I am above that. I have always been above that, and I hope that Gambians and non-Gambians will really see Ousainou Darboe as one who stands for the interest of every Gambian and promotes the values of unity in diversity. Yes, PS I was his protege. He brought it me up, and yes, Barclay Rice paints him as an anti-Mandinka politician. But how could he be an anti-Mandinka when he has brought up so many Mandinka chaps in his home, and a lot of them paid for their school fees? I mean, Abu Karamba Kasama, the late Honorable Abu Karamba Kasama, was brought up by P.S. Njai. The late Chief of Saba, Mr. Singate, was brought up by P.S. Njai. His younger brother, Keba Singate, people like Lalo Samate, Solo Samate, all lived with him. So how could he be anti-Mandinka? But that is how Barclay Rice painted him. And of course, maybe his attitude to Jawara may have been translated into being an attitude to the entire Mandinka ethnic group, which I think is very unfair.
Okay, put quite simply, you know him as somebody who loved Mandinka because he brought up several of them. But his actions, what do you make about his actions towards Jawara as an individual?
When politicians, politicians see touch each other, and when they really do not really mean what they say, they do not use it. That they just use words or project them in ways, that will really pull them down. I think that's why, and that is why you have politicians now trying to project me as the hope of the Mandinkas, trying to make me look, that I am one who has an ethnic agenda, an agenda of the Mandinkas. So I see Uncle PS's attitude to Jawara in that light, not one to the entire Mandinka, ethnic groups. After he had the greatest friends among Mandinkas, Sefo Tatamba Jame, I saw him how he related with them. Sefo Sekuba Jajusi, I saw how he related with them. Many other Mandinkas.
How will you describe Penjai to someone who doesn't know him?
Well, I would describe him as a very generous person, very supportive. Yes, very generous and very supportive.
A few months ago, I had an interview with Lamin Wajwara, and during the interview, he said it is not surprised that UDP party drive is named from the UP, that is the party of PS Njai.
Well, I don't know what is his rationale for that. After all, UP and United Democratic Party, their names are different, and of course, we've never tried to resuscitate or revive United Party. If we wanted to do that, we would have chosen the green as our color, and we would have chosen the umbrella as our emblem. But no. In any case, what would have been wrong for that to happen? Did he give any reason what would have been wrong if that was done?
Well, his argument is, like I said, he said, because you drive your political, or I can say, you've been a prodigy of PS Njai. He groomed you, and that's why you choose that name, UDP.
Well, so if that is so, does that not, knock the bottom of the argument that Piazinja is anti-Mandinka? How can the Ousainou Darboe be one who is the hope of the Mandinkas?
Right. Now let's move
does
on to
does it not knock off the bottom of their arguments?
Right. Okay. Do you support the toppling of Jawara by Jam in 1994?
I think that was the gravest thing that happened to the Gambia. That was the day that Gambia, in fact, lost its complete image, and that image we are now struggling to really rebuild and redeem. It should never have happened. Whatever we had reasons, I think we could have gone through it by constitutional means and ensure that there was no unconstitutional change of government in this country. I tell you, on the first or second day of the coup, soldiers went to my house at Pipeline. Then I was with my second wife in Canifing, and the first person they met, in fact, on Pipeline Road was trying to see how they can get anybody to do something for decrease for them. And the person directed them to my house at Pipeline. But then I wasn't there. And when I got news of it, I changed, my temporary, I left my place at Cardiff and went into hiding because I didn't want to be associated with the regime in any way.
Was that the reason why you oppose Jammeh and the AFPRC party?
Well, if they, as they were a military government, one has to accept the reality of the fact that it was the government in place. And if it was a benevolent military regime, yeah, there may not have been that. But then, they just went out, trampling on people's rights, even to the extent of uh, uh, ensuring that the fundamental human rights provisions were suspended by a decree. I think it was decree number 30. Yeah? Because the decree number 1 maintained the fundamental human rights. But then, subsequent to that, coming with this terrible decree that really suspended the fundamental human rights. And the judges were, we are just hearing their way through, and without really making any reference to the Constitution, but then, upholding human rights in the courts, when there was a reason for doing so. So my objection really to them is just not because they had overthrown a democratically elected government, but after doing so, they were disregarding, the rule of law. And that is why that year, the Bar Association, the legal year celebrations, yeah, I boycotted, and I also went about, to influence quite a few of my colleagues not to attend it, because I could not go to attend a ceremony rubbing shoulders with soldiers who have overthrown the Constitution and behaving in ways that are unconstitutional. I cannot go and listen to them telling me what the rule of law is about, when they themselves are not really abiding by the rule of law. So I boycotted, and I was on BBC that day. It was in November. I can't remember the exact date, but it was in November 1994. And on that, when my views were expressed on the BBC, I was visiting a friend in Bundung, and people came there and wanted to abduct me, to take me away. It was a big pull and pull, my clothes, the shirt I wore was torn. I went to the police to report, but then that is it. Yeah. So my objection was just not because it had overthrown a constitutional elected government, but because they were not doing things in accordance with law. They are violating rights of people, addressing people in broad daylight, humiliating them, torturing them, confiscating their properties without any reason.
So imagine they did not violate laws, they did not confiscate, and they did not do some of those things. So you will be in support of the coup. Because
I said no. I said that is among the reasons. Okay. So my principal reason is for them to overthrow a constitutionally elected government, and not really observing the rules of law, respecting people's rights, will not really redress the overthrow of the unconstitutional overthrow of the government. That will not really redress it.
Jawara is regarded by many as a Democrat, but others also said he overstayed in power. What is your position on that? Did he overstay? Do you think he's a Democrat, or he was a Democrat?
Well, he was a Democrat because elections were held free and fair, and those who were not satisfied with results of elections had access to the courts, and they had their cases properly adjudicated upon, and they all left satisfied. There were challenges to the election of members of the opposition, and the courts rejected those challenges. And there are challenges against, there are challenges by members of the government against some elements of the government, and the courts allowed it. So there was rule of law, really demonstrated and upheld at that highest. The judges couldn't care. They didn't know who was there. They just knew of litigants before them. They were not concerned with whether you belong to a ruling party or you belong to an opposition party. And to that extent, yes, there might certainly he was an absolute Democrat, yeah? Overstaying. Yes, that's the view of some people. He might overstay. Yeah, you would want to have fresh ideas, but that did not, in my view, did not make him undemocratic, because uh, I've never, of all the petitions that I saw during his period, I've never had that government misused his influence, or the government took advantage of incumbency, or the government adopted unorthodox methods. I mean, there are flaws, and these flaws were highlighted, but they were not flaws that you would say was institutionalized. As you had, when you could see in Jammeh's time, army trucks ferrying voters, when you could see soldiers in uniform campaigning, when you could see senior civil servants are forced to go to their to their family members and urge them to vote for Jammeh. It was not like that in Jawara's time. Yes, he stayed 30 years. Maybe he should really have thought that, look, time has come for me to leave. And he did say that in Mansakonko. That time has come for him to come. Maybe he should not have changed that decision. He just have held onto that decision and said, look, it is time for me to leave, I'm leaving.
From what you have said, you have certified Jawara as a Democrat. So why were you opposed? Why did you oppose PPP and you were NCP supporter?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why anybody thinks that I'm an NCP supporter. Because I defended Sirfdiba?
Not only that, because they said you are NCP, not PPP.
Well, I don't know why.
Which party did you support?
I did not.
Let me put it there, Mr. Darboe. Which party were you in support?
I did not support any. In fact, I was not in support of any party. I had best of my friends in PPP. I had the best of my friends in NCP. Let me tell you this. When the seat for Same became vacant, when Kebanyama Lee had to leave, I was approached to contest on the PPP ticket by people from Same. But I felt that at that time, there were few people from the provinces in the legal field. And I thought that I was doing some work for people from the countryside, and I should continue doing so. But by being a member of the National Assembly, I don't think I'll be able to do so. Then I asked Sergio Toure, I approached, in fact, I recommended Sergio and I asked Sergio Toure that he should come in. And together with others, we pushed forward his candidature. When had people in top echelon of PPP, my very good friends. Do you think if I was anti-PPP, as they put it, anti-PPP, why would I have been commissioned to organize the national youth conferences in Janjambore and in Mansakonko, the last one in Mansakonko under the PPP regime?
Well, what can
let me say, there was a gala dinner. I was member of the social committee for the PPP, for fundraising for PPP. And Honorable B.B. Darboe put me on the editorial board of The Voice, the PPP paper. Why would they if I was anti-PPP? So, this perception, because I defended Sirfdiba, because that was my profession. And I believed in his case. Believed that all these stories about him were false. In fact, he was my neighbor. He was, my residence was at a pipeline where I was renting, was just opposite. At New Perseverance, was just opposite his house. So I know everything that they were saying about him was false. And it would not have gone well with me, my professional conscience, if I declined to defend him. And I did defend many other people.
You defended many other. I understand, yeah. But I understand. People did not say you are NCP because you defended it. Because I understand you defended people like Papchia Sensek and several other people. Now, during those elections, who did you vote for? Serif or Jawara?
Hi, I'm Ami Jain, and I'm in Bakoto right now. I always choose Africell's 4G network because it has the widest coverage and the fastest speeds. Let me show you why I always choose Africell's 4G. I have two phones. One with the 4G SIM card from Africell with the 4G network. The other 4G SIM card from another network. Let's do a speed test and see the difference. Wow, I'm getting full coverage from Africell with speeds of 69.68 megabytes per second. The other network, 3.35 megabytes. This is just proof that Africell has the widest coverage and the fastest speed. By far the fastest.
Hurry now and go replace your Africell SIM cards with the real 4G SIM card.
Where Africell goes, no one has the speed to follow.